Awesome and amazing day, you all. Nikki B here.
And it's just Joseph.
Right here, Futureland365, 95.9 WOVU.
And y'all, we just finished up with the amazing Nicole D. Miller, author and publisher. So if you're an author or you got a book in you, which you probably do out there, I know she does, listen, you want to tune into this episode.
You don't want to miss it. Peace. Awesome and amazing day, you all. Welcome to Futureland365. It's Nikki B here.
And it's just Joseph.
Hey there, Joseph.
Hey,
Welcome back.
I'm back.
Yes.
I'm back. A little tan, but I'm back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good. Happy to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate you being back. I definitely missed you.
Yeah.
It was weird sitting on the couch in the same space with you not being here.
So I had to come back.
Yeah, I missed your energy.
Good. Even though I miss Hawaii, though, that was a good trip. But
see, I didn't tell you while he was in Hawaii. I just said he was away.
Oh yeah.
I wanted you to share that with them.
Yeah, I was out in Hawaii for Peace to Perform, my nonprofit organization that helps athletes. So it was a camp out there. Great time, great experience. But I'm back here ready to go because we got a great guest and a great show.
We have an amazing, skillful guest in the building today. But wait a minute. We're forgetting something. We want you all to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe.
Got to
all of our platforms. Yeah. Definitely go to our website, www.futurelandcle.com. See, I got it right this time.
You got it right. Subscribe to that newsletter. Make sure you follow all our platforms and subscribe to the YouTube channel because we building up in our engagement.
Absolutely. So you guys, with no further ado, let's introduce our guest. But let me tell you all what we're talking about first. So today we're talking about pages, purpose, and publishing power.
I like that.
Right? That sounds real in depth, right? There's a lot there. So you're like, well, who is this person we're talking about? So this is the Nicole D. Miller story.
Ooh, welcome.
Hey, girl.
Thank you, guys. I'm laughing because I love all the behind-the-scenes banter and the intro. So I'm honored to be here in this space. So thank you for having me.
We're glad to have you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Nicole, we share the same name.
Yes, we do.
And we understand what that name means. So this title is definitely symbolic to your life and the work that you do. So you are a publisher, an author, entrepreneur, boss chick, all those things. So let everyone know pretty much in a nutshell what you are and what you do.
Yeah, so as you touched on, I'm an author. Everything that I do is about storytelling, but bringing hope, transformation, inspiration to our community. My niche is the Black community. And I also have Girl Talk, which is a podcast, which is about female leadership, female empowerment. So I'm all about rooting for the underdog, helping those who are less privileged and marginalized. And I think that our people, we have a history of storytelling and valuing that. And it's something that you can give to the next generation for them to carry on that legacy. Wow. So my newest title is producer of Glossy, which stands for the Great Lakes African American Writers Conference, which is an annual conference held here for like 8 years. So
yeah, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's major.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
That's such a big deal, and I can't wait to see what you do with that and how you bring it, how you bring your own level of creativity, purpose, all the things. So can't wait to
flavor.
see that. Yeah.
Thank you guys for the support and encouragement.
Yeah. Absolutely. So let's get right into it. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about, well, what I think is important, I think just Joseph can agree with this as well, is he's an author too, you all. It's like, what does just Joseph not do? But he's an author too, so I think he can understand this. So writing through the storm from personal to published, right?
Yes.
So when I say that, what does that mean for you, writing through the storm?
So the interesting thing is my background is in bookkeeping, accounting, finance. It is not in being a creative. It is not in writing. So I got started writing in 2012 with a blog when blogging was popular. And I wrote a blog post called How to Overcome Heartbreak, Recovering from Misguided Love. And when I pushed publish, I knew the Holy Spirit said, that's the name of your first book. And I'm like, what? And after several confirmations, I produced How to Overcome Heartbreak, the book, and published it in 2014. So it details the storm, my very first major storm, which happened in undergrad when I was engaged and loved. He cheated on me, and I really would have lost myself if I hadn't had my community and my faith. And so I give people tips on what got me through that heartbreak to encourage them. So for me, the storm has been written in every single book that I've published, various storms. I've channeled my hurt and my pain and my heartbreak into these stories, which resonate with other people, especially in our community when we've been a resilient people group and have gone through a lot, right? So I think it's been an amazing experience to channel the grief, the pain, and the hurt and the storms into something beautiful that can be inspirational and helpful to other people.
Yeah, that's good. There's beauty in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of just like felt in my spirit as you said that, from tragedy to triumph.
Oh,
So like I kind of heard that as you were telling, your story, and we're gonna get more into detail of your story. But that resonates because the things that we go through, we sometimes can question like why, but then realizing that sets us up to have a testimony that can relate and draw other people in. So can you talk about that in your journey as well?
Yeah, and I'm still going through hard things, and I've actually just written a book in 30 days, which is pretty nuts. But I did it as a challenge to myself, inspired by a friend. And I was weeping throughout writing that book, and that was just this month. Every single book that I've written, I've been in tears over. And my characters go through all of these things, even things I haven't gone through, but because I've had hurt, I can channel that into their experience. And the same with Girl Talk. So with Girl Talk, we get vulnerable, we get deep. These women's stories are amazing, things I have never went through, and yet I can empathize or I identify with how they felt and the life lessons that they've learned through those experiences. So I think for me, it really has been a journey of partnering with God to keep moving forward in the midst of the hard things, because if not for him, I would not have gotten through that first heartbreak and triumphed, right? Like he always causes us to triumph. And I think that that's one of the messages in my writing is, with him, all things are possible. The most impossible, worst kinds of circumstances, like there is hope in him and the various methods that he uses to get us through those things. So,
Wow. That's awesome.
You talk about, I'm hearing something here where you're talking about faith and you're talking about hope and you're talking about Holy Spirit, right? So saying those things, how much of a major component or how much of faith drives your work or your writing?
Yeah, so much of it. And it's so freeing to be an entrepreneur where I can be vocal about my faith. I don't have to coddle anyone else. And that doesn't mean that I'm downing anyone else's faith. Like even with Girl Talk, it's not a Christian platform. A lot of the people who are involved are faith-based, but not necessarily wearing the title of Christian, because I do think that the Father meets people's hearts and can use people and meet us each in our individual journey, right? So N.D. Miller Publishing is a faith-based hybrid publishing company. So because that is faith-based, we will only partner with books and clients that are in alignment with our values. Whereas Girl Talk may be a little bit more free in the people that we feature, but they're still going to be in alignment with our values, even if they have a quote-unquote different faith, right? But we typically have a message of hope, encouragement, endurance, resilience, and tenacity, because I feel that we can heal each other through dialogue, and that's really what Girl Talk is doing. So each of the brands kind of have a different method, but we're all going to end up in the same place. So I hope that answers your question.
No, that truly answers the question. And before my brain starts going into this spiral of all these other questions, I think we'll just take a quick pause there, you all, so we can find out more about what truly drives Nicole and her purpose and how she serves our community. So we'll be right back, you all.
WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a community radio station. Our mission is to provide an inclusive and participatory media platform that connects, engages, and informs every citizen and stakeholder of our community with the goal of achieving ongoing social and economic progress for all.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Futureland365 podcast and radio show. It's just Joseph.
Nikki B here.
And we are sitting here with the amazing, lovely Nicole D. Miller.
Yes.
And she's been breaking down her story. And I'm super excited about this as an author myself. But she's talking about how she's come from the finance and accounting world to writing and becoming self-published, and now having a publishing company and wearing so many other hats. How do you do it? First of all, how do you manage all of these moving parts?
So I am gifted to think in terms of systems, right? So my brain organizes and compartmentalizes and creates systems. So I know, like, at the beginning of each month, I need to do my bookkeeping for my business, for my personal life. If I have anything admin, that's like a meeting, this interview today, like those things are scheduled in my calendar. If I have a blog to write, I need to do it on Sunday, pre-schedule it for Monday. I do my weekly newsletter on Wednesday, write it on Tuesday, pre-schedule it. Everything is planning. So even with my book launch, my last book launch, I planned it 9 months in advance. The last Girl Talk, I planned 3 months in advance. Like, for me, that is my bread and butter. Now, you can't plan everything. It doesn't always work. God does teach me that, but that is definitely a gift that I have that helps me do a lot of things.
That's awesome. So back when you were in the finance world and accounting, I'm sure some of that plays into now what you're doing. How does that background help you?
It does. So being in accounting, attention to detail is key. You know, that admin work, definitely like fine tuning everything and even thinking in terms of systems. And being a business owner, like, I can be an artist, I can be great at writing, but no one will ever read my books. There are plenty of writers out there who write books that no one ever reads. But because I want exposure, I want recognition, I want my books to be on film, like, I need to build the brand, I need to build the business. And so I did transpose those business skills and my marketing undergrad skill to doing everything I do now with email marketing, with social media marketing, with networking, with interviews, podcasting, all of that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's so cool to be able to look back and identify the skills that you didn't know. Like you were just saying, you can't plan for everything, and this is definitely one of those things where you did not plan on being a writer. I think in some of our conversations, you said that writing was just a therapy tool for you when you were in bookkeeping. Am I accurate with saying that?
Well, yeah, I worked in corporate for 9 years in financial accounts receivable, and I used blogging as an outlet because I was at a standstill in my career. And so I was just writing and reading people's stories when blogging was a big deal. I loved reading their stories. I forgot how much I loved reading stories. A lot of writers will have an undergrad in journalism or communication or something related to writing that's creative. But I think God did it this way with me so that he could get glory, because I know I'm a vessel. It's like, there's no way all of these stories are just pouring out of me at this level, this skill set, and I have no training. So I've taken workshops. Like, I've definitely tapped into Lit Cleveland and other organizations here that help you develop your craft. And I'm still on a journey of cultivating my gift. As you use it, it grows. But it was a surprise because I just thought this was on the side, and I kept looking to climb the corporate ladder. I went back, I got my MBA in accounting. No doors would open. I'm looking at my peers like, they're making X amount of money, they got these degrees. Why is this not happening for me? I spin my wheels for years, frustrated. So I did open a bookkeeping company, my own bookkeeping company, and I ran that for 4 years. It still never scaled. At the same time, because I like to do several different things, I was writing on the side, but it's like I didn't think that this would be a full-time.
And writing on the side, you mean the blog?
I mean the blog, and I did take classes with Lit Cleveland and did short stories in 2017, and that was my first experience doing fiction writing, because I never saw myself being a fiction writer. That was so intimidating to me, like a whole book, like who writes a whole book, you know? But my roommate had written a short story, and it made it like bite-sized, and I was like, oh, I could write a short story. And I went to their workshop, and I wrote my first short story. So
that's pretty cool. And so you talk a lot about, this journey. Okay, now I'm looking at this book you brought with you, Unfinished Business, right?
It looks amazing,
It
by
does.
the way.
Yeah.
Can I shout out my graphic designer?
Yes,
It's
Absolutely.
Miss
yes.
Sharita Carthon herself.
wow.
Oh, we know her.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah,
friend.
absolutely. Shout her
Did
out.
her thing,
Yes.
okay?
That is fire.
Yes.
So this is book 5 for you.
Book 5.
This is amazing. So I'm on my first book, and I know how
Yes.
challenging that has been, and just the journey to do all that. So to be on book 5, we'll talk about a little bit about that journey to get here,
Yeah.
and also the self-publishing route.
Yes. And I love that you're bringing up self-publishing because people may not know there are different types of publishing. You have traditional publishing, you have self-publishing, and then you have hybrid publishing. So traditional has been like the major way that people have gone. You've got like 4 or 5 major companies. You get a lit agent. You have to submit for an editor. You need a book query. There's like all this red tape. You sign a contract. You might get an advance. It may be eaten up by marketing, all the things, right? But it's very competitive. It could take a long time. Back in the day, people started self-publishing, doing their own thing. But self-publishing was looked at as a little taboo.
Yeah.
It was kind of like not as good quality. It wasn't as available, right? But what happened with technology and social media, people like me who kind of like are go-getters, we were able to self-publish and provide top-tier quality that is comparable to the major publishers. And so my first experience was with Amazon's arm called Create Space back then. And so they did my first 2 books. And then when I published my 3rd one, I kind of advanced with took that to another level and had some other additional distributors partner with me. But I also connected with editors, connected with graphic designers. Didn't know I was setting myself up to be a publisher.
Right.
And that's its own story.
Right.
But self-publishing was kind of looked down on. But now, because we have social media and the internet, you can scale just like you would with a traditional publishing company.
So obviously that takes the knowledge to know how to do
Yes.
it, and the experience, maybe trial and error.
Yes, which brings me into the hybrid publishing part. So hybrid publishing, which is what I do and what others can do, is partner with you as a self-publisher. And you do have to read the fine print. So I allow my clients to keep 100% of their royalties. Some publishers may actually take 50%. And I like
How
to...
much? 50?
They might take 50, yes.
Oh, okay. Is that normal or
That's probably
comparable
typical.
To, okay.
That's probably typical. I just have my own thing going on, and I do want to empower and educate my clients and kind of equip them to stand on their own and be self-published, So if they publish with me, I show them the behind the scenes. They're usually kind of go-getters, already have their platform or building their brand, and they just don't know what's going on in this lane, and I want to educate them because I've heard some really horrible horror stories about people who self-publish and get taken and all their money and they go nowhere. And so the publishing house is to help equip and inspire other, debut authors.
Yeah, we heard one of those horror stories from one of your mentors.
Yeah, it was
actually.
Leah. Yeah, Dr. Leah.
Yeah, the young lady was looking to write a book, and she got in contact with an editor, or was she a publisher? I think she was an editor.
I think
it was an editor, and she was like, "Oh, just send me your manuscript and everything," and she sent it to her. And she was like, I think $10,000 or $5,000.
It was like $5,000, but she didn't
$5,000.
change she didn't edit it. She just took it word for word how the woman
She just
spoke.
put a cover on it and sent
Horrible.
it to her.
Yeah.
That's terrible. So
A lot of times people can be, taken advantage of when you
Yep.
don't have the knowledge or experience. And so there has to be, people like yourself to step up to the plate and say, look, okay, there's been enough of that. Let me use what God has given me to help out and to educate. And I think that's the most important thing, especially for our community, it's very, education is key, so.
And of course, I want to shout out my girl, Alicia Ellis,
Yes.
who is my very first client.
isn't
Who
that
was
amazing?
the one that came to me like, girl, I want you to publish me.
Wow.
And I'm like, read my ebook. Because I have an ebook, Self-Publishing 101, everything you need to know from one author to another. I'm like, you could do this. Just read the ebook. No, girl. No, I don't want to. You publish me.
want you to
so
do it.
that was the kickoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it always
and
takes
to
that.
say that you didn't write or publish anyone or help anyone.
Yeah,
Your
I had
friend
published
is like,
myself.
Yeah, write by yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that's the best teacher, right? When you can teach yourself something, you can definitely showcase that and highlight that. to
And I
someone else.
did. I did submit my manuscript, especially during 2020 with George Floyd. There were a lot of open doors for Black authors to get picked up by major publishing companies. And that was my motivation for doing Urban Stories. And so I did try to get submitted. And when those doors were closed, it was like, I can do this myself. Like, I've done this before.
Yeah.
I'll do it myself.
Yeah, it's always a blessing behind some closed doors. At the time, it feels like, man, why is this not working for me? Even in the finance world, you're like, man, I have all the degrees. I have all of these things and the credentials. So why isn't this taking off? It's because that wasn't the lane or path that God had for you. And now that you're in the right place, and it's usually a place of service that can help other people, is where you really start to blossom and because it's all about fruit at the end of the day. So
I love that. And it is him saying, I have something else for you. For years in my journey, I would get so frustrated with the closed doors. Like, why isn't this working? I have pages and pages of journals crying out, like, why isn't this working? Now, as I've walked longer, I'm like, oh, you just have something else.
Yeah, man, talking about frustration, right? That leads me, I know we talked about faith before, but let me step back. See, sometimes my brain goes too fast. But I also want to highlight, too, what we were just talking about, too, and what Joseph was just saying. It leads us into servitude, like into leadership, but serving the community in such a way. Because perhaps if you went that route, you probably would be too big, you know what I mean? Or someone else would have to step in, or you would have assistants and things like that. Although those things are nice, right? When you can reserve your time to be creative. Nevertheless, your coaching and your mentorship from the tools and the hardships and the things that you learned within this industry. So walk us through a coaching session or a consultation with an author or wants to be author. I know I said that wrong, wants to be, because I want to be an author.
And you will be.
There's
we
a
already
book
know.
here.
Yes.
I just don't know how to do that, or maybe there's just some scariness about it, like,
and for those listening, it's a book in you too. I don't know who I'm talking to, so this might be the podcast that you were supposed to stumble upon. So
I love that.
And I believe everyone has a story, and it's just about how that comes out for you. Sometimes you need a ghostwriter. So I've had some of my clients who came to me.
So ghostwriting isn't bad, right?
And rap it is.
Right.
Can't be. I don't want no
you lose
ghostwriter.
credibility in rap. The thing about it with fiction or memoir writing, people may not have time. There's a lot of big celebrities that use ghostwriters, but they still need to get their story out there because it's still going to empower and encourage someone else. It may be that's not your gift. It may be that the topic is so traumatic, which some of my clients have those stories, that they need a middleman. They need someone that's going to hold their hand and write the words for them because it is too hard to write themselves.
Wow.
So there are various reasons. But if a client comes to me, it really depends on what they need. Like maybe you want to write a book, maybe you already have your manuscript and you want to publish, maybe you need a ghostwriter. You could come to me for a variety of different things, but ultimately you're going to leave with tools to take your next steps. So that's ultimately what I'm looking for is like, where are you now? What is your end goal? How can we get you closer to your end goal?
Yeah.
So, and of course, for you to be empowered to know that, yes, you can take the next steps. And I do hold you accountable. I had a call this morning actually with a wannabe writer, as you say, a budding author. And, you know, I was able to...
That's so kind, a budding author.
So, yeah, I was able to tell her, okay, this is what you want. This is your homework. I'm going to hold you accountable. Here are your resources. Do this work. Reach out to me when you're ready for the next step.
Yeah.
So there's that accountability factor that I think a lot of people need with writing, because how many people do you know that have said for years, I want to write a book, I want to write a book, and it doesn't happen?
That's true.
Because it's easy to put on the back burner because it takes time. If you're going to be a full-time author, it takes resources, you know, and then if you're unknown, you need connections with visibility. It's a lot of work. So it helps to have a network of people, be in community, have an accountability writing coach, you know, all of those tools to help you take the next steps.
Wow.
Yeah, that's so, it's a systematic, right? You have a system.
I do.
And I think that's so cool that you give them tools to walk away. So tools to walk away, I'm like, okay, does that mean that they are your client, or is there still room for discussion or consideration? Like, okay, they are going to be my client, or no, you're not for me. Go this way.
I was going to say there is a vetting process that I've had to learn. Are we going to partner in the future? do we align in our values and vision for your project? Am I the best person for your project? Are you the best person to be my client? So at minimum, you're going to leave with tools for your next steps. At maximum, we get into partnership, we sign the contracts, you make your payments, we make this thing happen together.
Awesome. Wow.
I'm so excited, and I have like goosebumps because I'm gonna say something here. We all may not like this. I don't think we're vetting people enough that come into our lives. Just on this simple come into our lives, like who is this person? Who sent this person? What are their values? How does our relationship align, or do they go in one of these buckets, right? Is this a close proximity friend? Is this just a resourceful friend? Not saying just, but you know, people in our lives sometimes really are just conduits for the next level, right? Or this is a really close friend of mine, or this is my praying partner, this is my business partner versus an intimate partner. Ooh, right? I think sometimes as women, we may get that twisted versus vetting individuals and giving that time and space. Like, Lord, who is this person and why were they sent in my life? Or like you were just saying, do I just take them in and say, okay, this is what I have for you right now. Go away.
Wow.
Not go away, but just here, go this way.
I want to say I've had to learn that, right?
Yeah.
In my personal life as well as business. And I've had to turn people away that I actually care about as far as the person and their story, but I know I don't have the capacity to mentor you. I've had to learn I need you to be at a certain level because I do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so there's a certain level of a client. If you're not here, like, I'm not the person that can get you there. Or the story may be, you know, you went through all these hard things, but where's the encouragement? Where is the inspiration? How did you make it over? Okay, you went through hard things, but how's that bringing hope to the community? And you're a great person, but you're not there yet. The level of healing, that you haven't received that level of healing yet is really what it is.
That's good.
So.
That's so good. It's so funny that you brought that up because I was getting a haircut today, and that's the conversation that my barber. Well, yeah, shout out my barber. You know what I'm saying? He keeps me fresh for the Futureland365 show. But he was literally saying that, you know, some of the greatest advice that he got was to, you know, put his relationships in categories. And that helps because, you know, and for me, I have 3 categories. You're the mentor where you can speak into my life. You're either my friend who I can confide in and have, you know, we're on the same level. And then you have assignments, people that you're called to pour into. And so, but what happens is you can get those confused and that can cause the heartbreak, you know, because you're thinking it was an assignment. You thought it was a close friend and really you're just meant to pour into them. And when they're not giving it to you, you're realizing like, man, like something's missing here. But if you have an understanding that this is an assignment for me and I'm just meant to pour, you're not expecting that from them. And so you brought up a good word, capacity, because we only have capacity for so much. So I hope that, you know, helps somebody out there. I think it's a reason you brought that up because we have to know the category of relationships we put people in, and that's relational intelligence.
Yeah,
And
so I would say
going-
drop in the chat assignment, right? Drop in the chat assignment if you're listening on YouTube. Drop that in there because I think that's so important. Assignment, alignment, partnership, right? So what is it? So
That's good.
I was just going to say it goes back to our self-value. We have to understand that we're precious, that what we have is precious, and to protect that and use those boundaries once we categorize the people. But we have to have a value of ourselves to do all that.
So good. And at that, we're going to take another break and come back. So make sure you value yourself and value this show by staying tuned.
there you go. That's great.
We'll be back.
We're here for your breakthrough every step of the way. From setup to final mix, we're here to make your dreams a reality. Your music, your podcast, your events, all at Breakthrough Sounds.
Hey there, you all. Welcome back to Futureland 365. It's Nikki B here.
And it's just Joseph.
Oh my gosh, we're having such a good time.
Great time.
I'm trying my best not to go too deep with you all because y'all know I be deeper than the earth, right? Like, hey, Joseph be like, girl, come on up.
Bring it on back.
Bring it
Reel it
back.
back in. Nah, you're doing good.
So thank you so much. I appreciate that. And so we have our guest here, Miss Nicole D. Miller. I love her so much. I love her vision. I love her purpose. I love what she does. I love how she serves. And her storytelling is amazing as well. Yeah. So now we're going to jump into another topic here, because we have to keep things going, because if not, we'll still be where we were. So faith, vision, and the future of storytelling. So Nicole, let us know what your vision is for Indie Miller Publishing and the broader literary community.
So I think right now I am steeped in this series, which is called Devon's Cafe. And it was inspired by my book, Stories for the Urban Soul. There are these amazing characters in Harlem, New York. And honestly, there are places like that here in Cleveland, but I chose Harlem. And it's an amazing story of these people who have resiliency over hard things. So my latest book is Unfinished Business Lisa, which is being released now on pre-sale. It's available at NicoleDMiller.com. And so I really want to see this series on film. That is like one of my big dreams. Like people read my books and they're like, oh, I see this as a movie. I see this. That's the goal, you know. I also want to see it as a play. So I'm kind of in the works with that, of seeing like, can we get this made into a play, right? But with the publishing house, for other clients, I want to continue publishing their stories. I didn't even know I could do ghostwriting until this last year, when I ghost wrote 3 books back to back to back, in addition to my own novel.
So what were the names of those books?
Yeah, so
you a writer.
you know, that's a compliment, because I do. I'm like, I'm a writer. You know, you have like the musician, or the comic, or whatever.
Right.
I'm a writer. But Dr. Shamara J. Hutchins, you know, and then Stacey Kirk. And then my girl Ari Baker, and these are all like heavy-hitting women with doing their things, right? So to partner with them and to journey with them on their stories and learn like what they've overcome, and having that gift of empathy be used in that capacity, because when you're a ghostwriter, you're seeing the world through their lens, right? But I didn't even know I could until I got all those clients doing that. And so I would love to continue partnering with other people in those spaces to tell their stories. Like I mentioned before, we need to be in alignment. They need to be functioning at a certain level of healing, awareness of self, purpose, all the things. So Indie Miller Publishing, I definitely want it to have a global impact, as well as my own writing, and continuing to edify African Americans, Africans of the Black diaspora, like all over the map. I want my writing to reach others who are going through hard things. And it's not just our community. I love when I have white readers reach out to me and they get the story, and they're learning our language, and they're learning our heritage, and they want to know. And so it's not necessarily just about color, but it is celebrating our culture, our swag, all the things. Because even though it is faith-based, it really is contemporary and relatable and down to earth. And really just to show you like God is fly. Like that's really my end goal, is to be like, God is fly, y'all. Y'all don't know this?
Yeah. He's not a color. He's not any of those things. He is omnipotent, omnipresent. He's all things all the time. And we were made in his image, all of us. So, that's so cool. And I appreciate that you have this strong sense of vision. Yeah, so where not only you see it, your writers see it. They're like, girl, I see a movie with this, right? This is news to me now that you say you see it in a play as well.
Yeah,
that's so
kind
cool.
of like, that's some tea right there.
Yeah, because I'm like, I've never heard that.
Well, everybody about to hear it.
You heard
Y'all
it
will see
here
it on the big
first.
screen soon. Unfinished business coming. No, but
Yeah.
seriously, that's exciting because it's all about vision. That's what we're about here at Futureland365. We want to hear the different ideas and how we can take our art to the next level. That's a huge part of what we do here. So I'm happy you brought that vision out. Is there anything that you got coming up that we should know about?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked. So, for those who are not informed, Great Lakes African American Writers Conference, we fondly call it Glossy.
Glossy.
So, Glossy is happening September 27th, the Cleveland Public Library, MLK branch, from 10 to 4 p.m., 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And guess who's going to be our MCs, you guys?
Who is going to be your MC?
Who else better than yourselves? Nikki B and Joseph.
That's right, y'all. We will be the host of the Glossy event, and it is going to be exciting. Let them know again the date, time, and where.
So save the date, September
Yeah.
27th, which is a Saturday, Cleveland Public Library, MLK branch, 10 to 4. Come through. It's a
Yes.
free event.
Free event. Y'all hear
Free
that?
event.
And we gonna be there. We gonna be, having a good time, turning
Yes.
up, doing our thing, and emceeing the night. So it's gonna be a great time. If you are an aspiring author or a budding author, like we say, if you're into novels and reading,
Yes.
if you want to just know more about, how to even be self-published, this is a great event for you to be a part of. And I'm excited to be a part of it as an author myself and my budding author over here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's what the B stands for.
Yeah, right.
Budding. And we always have top tier quality, amazing best-selling authors, workshops, tools that will equip you in your writing journey, networking. Definitely you want to be there if you're in the literary community in Cleveland, particularly the Black literary community.
And the Martin Luther King Library is a really
Historic.
cool library,
Yeah.
right? I don't know if you guys been to this new library, but it's really cool. I go there all the time to study, to read, to work, or just hang out. Like, you know what? I'm tired of my workspace at home.
Yeah.
So I may go to the library, and the staff is amazing. The space is up to date, has a lot of technology. There's
Yeah.
a lot of room, because I know some of you are like, how are you going to have this event at a library?
Perfect
But
space.
go check it out and you'll see how. So
Yeah,
we're
they
excited
redid
about
all
that.
of it. So if you haven't been there in the last year, then you have to look at the space and the updates.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all there.
Definitely see you all there. So, Nicole, what advice would you have for authors coming up, or new authors, or
Yeah.
those that don't even know that they want to be authors? But what
Yeah.
advice would you share with them from your experience, as well as experience from authors that you've helped to take to the next level or help write their books?
I think first and foremost, the creative space is such a well of healing. Like, it's such a space where you can unleash the things that you don't even know are in your heart. Like, when I write my stories, I'm considered a free writer. So I don't outline. As much as I'm like detailed and a planner and anal about business, when it comes to my art, it's like, okay, God, I'm just showing up and let's see what comes out. And a lot of things that are in my subconscious, things that he's revealing to me, sometimes it feels like he's feeding me the story, and it feels like we're co-creating. So like, going into that space of freedom, there's nothing comparable. Like, I've done a lot of things in my life, but I've never felt more fulfilled than being a creative.
Wow.
And so I would encourage those to tap into that creative space, even if it's not writing, but being a creative. But if you're a writer, I would say be patient. Because to do this thing and try to make it sustainable is typically going to take most people time.
Yes.
I've been a published author for 11 years. I've been an entrepreneur for 7. I've been a creative entrepreneur for 5. So it takes time.
Yeah.
Some things take time. But the good news is, the more you practice your gift, the better it gets. Like, you're scaling with your gift. I would say get into writing communities. Sometimes when you're in spaces with other people with your gift, it stirs up your gift.
That's true.
Right.
So when I've been in my, writing workshops with like Lit Cleveland or other online ones, stuff comes out of me that I didn't even know was there, but I think it's because I'm in a room with
Yeah.
other people with the same gift. Then they give you these writing prompts, things that you just would never think to write about, and it stretches you.
Right.
And then you hear other people share their work. And I do have this gift where I can emulate other people's styles. That's why it's important to read good books. So that's another tip. It's like, read good writing,
good
and you will write well.
Yeah, that's true.
So listening to Toni Morrison, Read the Bluest Eye, blew me away. So now when I'm recording my books, because I'm doing audiobooks for my novels, I'm channeling Toni Morrison. I'm like, okay, let me get my Toni Morrison on, But yeah, so I would say be patient, be around other writers to stir up your gifts, and do not give up on yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe that someone is supposed to read your work.
Yes.
God didn't just give you this story for no one to read it. Like, other people will be inspired by your journey.
Wow. Well, I'm definitely inspired.
Yeah, I'm definitely
yeah.
inspired. And then let me go back a little bit. You said audiobooks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how are you doing that? What does that look like?
Another gift that I'm like, oh, I could do this. It's fun. I feel like you're tapping into the acting arena, which is very interesting because I have like older characters, young characters, male characters. I'm like, okay, here we go.
I didn't think about that from a fictional standpoint
Yes.
because now you actually do have to act out
do,
these roles.
yeah. So I did it for When Love Wins, which is my very first book, so you can download it on Audible. And so for Unfinished Business, I'm finalizing that, but it'll be available in about a month. And you can get that on Audible as well. And I'm
Very
doing a
cool.
free giveaway during the pre-sale. So it's been good. It's been fun. It's like, wow, I could do this. Like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
Well,
it just
that's
you?
what-
I'm sorry. Is
No,
it just
go
you
ahead,
on an
fine.
audio book, or
It's
do you
just
bring
me.
other actors?
It's just
or-
me.
Okay.
And another step you do is you have beta readers. So
Okay.
whenever you have your book coming out, you have different writers that read your work. So I have a crew of beta readers. So
that's
I
cool.
read it to them. That's like my practice,
Gotcha.
you know. And then when I do the full on, it's like, okay, here we go. But I've done it several times
Nice.
even before I get there.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, that was the only thing that I had in my mind. I was like, wait
Yeah.
a minute, what does this process look like, and how do you tap into
Right.
that? So I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm just inspired, you
For
know,
sure.
because I know I got another book in me as well. So this conversation inspires me to join a community that can help
Yes,
pull that out of
for
me.
sure.
Because, like you said, it's easy to put it on the back burner
Yeah.
when you have other things going on.
Yeah.
But I know that, you know, if you really want to make an impact, you got to write it down and put it
Yeah.
out there. So I'm going to do that.
Yes.
I might need to hit you up for some accountability.
Please do, please do.
But I'm going to do that. So I hope you are inspired by today's message and podcast.
Yes.
You got any takeaways you want to
I have so many takeaways, you all. I'm not sure if we have time to
Give 'em-
to
give 'em
list
one.
them all,
Give 'em
okay?
one or two.
Just
One or two,
one, just
Nikki.
Joseph. Oh my gosh. So okay, just one inside the other. Okay.
All right.
Anyway, so faith and frustration are together, right? So we think sometimes that in our faith that we're probably not frustrated, but I think that is those two things work together to move past that, right?
Yeah.
So the faith and frustration is kind of what I got a little bit, just once, because there's so many here,
Yeah.
but that's just a part of what I heard from your story. Don't give up because you're frustrated. Just keep going in your faith. It's a part of the faith. It's to be frustrated, right? Also, what I've learned, not here, but yeah, it's part of it. That in the learning, you are frustrated.
Yeah.
That's a part of learning is being frustrated because you've never done this thing before.
Yeah.
So you're going to be frustrated because I think as humans, we think we know everything, right? But we don't. So
That's good. That's good. And for me, one of my biggest takeaways was there's a blessing behind closed doors, and that, you know, when you're on your journey, on your path, it might look like things are not working out, but sometimes that's just a redirection to your true calling and purpose. And Nicole is a prime example of that. You can turn a tragedy to a triumph story. So
In a
stay
major way.
encouraged. Yeah, stay encouraged out
yeah.
there. Yeah.
It turned that pain into entrepreneurship, into
Right.
a business for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
That's what we were
absolutely.
talking about today. So you all, that's it. That's all.
Powerhouse show right there.
Powerhouse. It was
Yeah.
definitely full of purpose,
Yeah.
power, and we learned a lot about publishing. We didn't realize that there were 3 tiers. If you missed that, rewind if you're on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Like I said again, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of our platforms. And we just want to thank the lovely Miss Nicole for being here with us
Yes,
today.
absolutely.
Yeah. And until next time.
Peace.
I finally got a piece of the pies, yeah, we moving on up, moving on up, yeah, moving on up. Futureland, what's up, yeah,